Hey. You know, I bet a lot of you out there are toying with the idea of maybe coming to New York this summer, huh? Taking in a Broadway play, maybe a bite to eat after on New York's famed Restaurant Row. Well, until recently, the only Broadway stars you'd have seen there will be right after some crack-crazed maniac knocked your blocked off and booked it down the street, pal. But the local people said enough was enough. Don't call Carl Malden and American Express if you get mugged. Call the Guardian Angels. Join them and their critics next. Come on. Let me please introduce you to a couple of folks you probably don't need an introduction to. Curtis Sliwa and Lisa Sliwa, who are the co-founders of the Guardian Angels at home base with us tonight. How you doing, gang?
Oh, doing
all
fine.
right.
Good. Before I even get into questions, all right, and also let me go to our loudmouth. Dennis Carey is the owner of the Red Blazer 2 restaurant in Times Square. Where's Dennis?
Right here.
Right here, Dennis. And we've also got Paul DiOrenzo. Paul, how are you? Reporter for WBAI, all right? Who's with us tonight? Now, Curtis, for those folks who have been brain dead for the last 5 years, haven't read a newspaper or seen television, would you give us a quick 60-second upgrade on how the Guardian Angels came about and what they've done?
Well, it was back in February of 1979 that myself and 13 other young men, later to be joined by young women, looking like a group of poppin' fresh Pillsbury doughboys and doughgirls in these red berets and T-shirts, descended into the bowels of New York City, down in the slime and grime of the subway, without weapons, no special powers or privileges, just wanting to stop the multitude of cretins, creatures, and vultures that were preying on people.
What made you think of doing this? What made you think of doing this?
I was a night manager of a McDonald's restaurant in the South Bronx.
Yeah.
And I needed rubber underwear and a bulletproof vest just to survive the day.
All right. So you formed the Guardian Angels. You went out. How many cities across this country have had Guardian Angels in them now?
Well, we now have groups in 60 different American cities, the ones you'd most expect: Chicago, Detroit, LA, Houston, Miami, Atlanta, and then ones you'd never expect, like Spokane, Washington, and other smaller cities around the country, with 5,000 diverse members, all from that initial group of 13, where the burned out buildings, the pimps, the pushers, the gangsters, and the hoodlums in the Bronx, and instead of getting very jaded and upset and deciding on the blinder approach, the I and me, I said, look, if these young huckleberries can be out there raping, savaging, and beating, I bet you I can create a group that would energize them like comic book heroes of a sort to go out and protect rights and property without weapons.
I bet people don't know really how dedicated Curtis and Lisa are to this organization. How long have you folks been married?
A little bit too long.
Too long, Morton.
Too long, all right. Have you had any children yet?
No, I was pregnant once, but I had a miscarriage. But we hope to have some in the future, and if Curtis behaves himself, he might actually be the father.
But indeed, Curtis, it's fair to say, and I think Lisa won't be embarrassed, that for a time in your life, you were so dedicated and focused on getting some sort of law and order for the little guy that you were actually celibate. Am I correct?
Oh, well, it's like Mike Tyson before a major fight. He's going nowhere near Robert Givens. But also remember, we have here the suburban princess. Lisa is not from the ghetto. She's from the suburbs. I'm blue-collar, working-class, Polish-Italian background from Canarsie, the clashing of the cultures. And Lisa refuses to get near me unless I open up one of the hydrants and hose myself down. So that's kept a little bit of the celibacy.
I don't blame you, kid. Now,
You see what sacrifices I make for the organization, Mort? I mean,
let me go to Paul D'Orenzo. Paul, you've covered the Angels for a number of years, pal, right?
Well, I'm interested in what's going on. I'd like to.
Are they as successful at preventing crime as Curtis would have us believe?
Well, I have a problem. Talking about cretins. It was pretty cretinous to put an innocent man in a headlock and hold his arms behind his back. This New York Times picture last Sunday. This man had to be released. There was nothing wrong with him. He had nothing. You just grabbed him and put him in a hammerlock, and I think that's pretty cretinous and pretty much against the law. And I think that following the law is.
See that.
You can see the caption right here. He had to be released. I mean, why did they have to grab him in the first place if he was released?
Guardian angel scuffling with a man on 47th Street last week. They said they suspected him of smoking crack.
But he was released. He didn't have any crack on him.
Was he suspected of smoking crack, and what made you suspect? And the reason I ask this question is, this is a black man. Had it been a white man, would you have suspected him of smoking crack?
Oh, it could have been polka dot, blue, red. People in all different colors
But
smoke
why was
crack.
he suspected of smoking crack?
Because he had crack vials in his hand. He had a stem. What else are you going to use a stem, which is a pipe to smoke crack for?
Wait a second, pal. You'll come up here in just a second, all right?
And Mort, when you have the same people, the predators, day in, day out, standing on the corners, selling crack, using crack, destroying the quality of life, we're going to give the person a bit of a therapeutic back massage.
Shut up,
and
will you,
running
pal,
out.
before I zip it for you myself? Now, let me ask you a question.
Anyway.
Let's take a hypothetical while we have the brave press with us, all right?
Yeah.
Let's take a hypothetical. It's well advertised that you and your group were down there trying to prevent crack sales, all right?
Yeah.
Entirely possible, then, that a newspaper, a magazine, radio station, or television station could have planted this guy.
But there was more than that.
Shut up a second. I'll be with you in a minute, all right? Could have planted this guy. Don't tell me it can't happen, because I was in Grant Park in 1968 and saw the phony pictures set up. All right, but apparently this didn't happen, so.
Well, let me state that if this were true, that he was guilty of nothing, and you know how street people, particularly criminal types, know their rights, why didn't he file a complaint? Why didn't he have us arrested?
How do you define a
You know why,
criminal
Mort?
type?
Because
What's
he's
your
a
definition of
perpetual
criminal?
drug dealer who's out there 24 hours
Your
a day,
definition
7
of criminal,
days a week.
somebody who's a transvestite.
He's no longer there, Mort.
Who are you to judge? All I can say is this, is that if you're so clean, if your glass house is so tough that you can't throw stones, how come you had to pull out of working with those slumlords on the Lower East Side? You had to pull out because you found out what that guy was like. You worked with him, you accepted from him.
Hey, so you
work with anybody?
You have a problem. You have a problem with
You work
dealing
with anybody?
with anybody that wants to clean up a drug problem.
Even if they're a slumlord?
What do you mean
who
if they're a
uses,
slumlord?
well, this guy.
Landlords use drugs to get the poor people out of the building.
Do you
so they
use
can turn
drugs?
into condos.
Do you use drugs, sir?
It's not a question of who
Are
uses
you using drugs?
Yes, I have a
All
cup
right,
of
so
coffee
you're
in the
committing
morning.
crime. Boy,
Who here smokes cigarettes and drinks coffee?
Cigarette smokers are there here?
may I make a suggestion? Mort,
Answer, how
Judge
about
Ginsburg
answering this
smoked a
question?
few joints,
Do you
too.
use illegal drugs? Do you use illegal drugs?
Yeah, I smoked a
And
joint
any
with Judge
slime
Ginsburg.
ball who wears a T-shirt that says U.S. out of North America, kiss my ass, mother.
Back to my question. We have a slumlord. This guy owns 30 buildings in Manhattan. He's been known to hire crackheads. He hires.
Now let's give him a
hires-
chance. Let's give him a chance. Let's show that we're fairer than that slime is, all right?
He hires. We got this slumlord. He hires crackheads. He puts them into the buildings to scare people out so he can raise the rent to $1,500 a month, something we all have to face. And don't tell me it doesn't happen. And this guy winds up taking a storefront from him supposedly to fight crack. What is that?
If he's bringing crackheads into
why
the
would
neighborhood,
he bring us in to fight them?
why would he bring us
What
in to
sense
slam
does
them and
that make?
jam them?
It makes perfect sense because while the guy's trying to make a buck on one hand, he's trying to have a nice, clean conscience and to look good in the media, and that's what you're all about.
Mort, might I
They
make
need
a
to
suggestion?
gentrify the neighborhood by
Might I
getting out
make a
the
suggestion
poor people.
to both of you?
You're saying that you know who's most
gentrification.
famous. Let me tell you
How can you
something.
tell
You
me
know
a
who is
crack
most
deal is gonna
victimized
improve
by
the
those
neighborhood?
drug
Well, let me
dealers?
hear this. Let me hear this, gentlemen.
How can you tell me a crack deal is going to improve any neighborhood?
It's not because I'm saying the landlord who this guy works for, Mr. Glass House doesn't throw stones, was a guy who was caught red-handed bringing crackheads and hiring the homeless off the streets to be his worker in these buildings. He put them in an empty apartment and then try living in a building with crackheads. I agree with you 100%. And of course that would force people out, and
Let
the
me
rent
tell
goes
you
up from
something.
$400 a month to $1,500 a
No,
month.
you're going to tell me if a crack dealer is living downstairs, I'm going to move into an apartment,
And this
and
is
they're
the
going to
guy
raise
he
the
worked
rent?
with.
They're going
Why
to
doesn't
charge
he
me
answer the
$1,000 to live in an apartment
Why
that
did
is
you
full
work
of
with
crack?
You didn't even do any research on this
Because of
guy.
the people that live on that block. We live in that drug-infested neighborhood.
But why don't you look
And
at
let
the
me
source
tell-
of it?
Let me tell
Look
you
at the
why.
source of it.
You want
Why
an
don't you go
answer?
after the source instead of the
You want
people
an
on the
answer?
street?
brings the drugs in.
Oh,
Yes.
will you get out of here? Go sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Off. Off. Off.
You want to know
You
something?
still, you change the subject. You change the subject.
What?
You change the subject, but this
Wait a second, I'll
headline
tell you. Let's
speaks for
change the
itself.
subject a minute.
Angels
We're going to
in
come
dirty
back to you.
places.
Sir, zip it. We'll be back with you in a minute. We'll show you how the angels take care of crack dealers and why some people think they're using excessive force. Come on. Joining us at loudmouth number 1 is David Klinghoffer, editor of the National Review. David, how are you tonight?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
You work for Buckley?
That's right. I'm not the editor. I'm the associate editor.
Associate editor. Wow, you're a tough, go-get-em right-wing guy?
That's right. This is not an ideological issue, Mort.
You're a tough right-wing go-get-em guy?
I
Think
said
I'm
this is
becoming a
not
liberal.
an ideological issue.
Well, let me ask you something. Everyone from the ACLU, shut up! Everyone from the ACLU to the police and the poor little crack dealers themselves have been kind of squawking that harassment by the guardian angels is a violation of their constitutional rights. Do you think that's a valid criticism?
It is. What I'm saying, Mort, it is. What I'm saying is that not only are they ineffective in fighting crime, what they're doing is also illegal. Now, it used to be that it was illegal to loiter. Now, is that right? It used to be illegal to loiter.
Well, but it's not illegal for one guy to loiter, all right, to hang around.
There was a there was a case in the Supreme Court called Papa Christou versus the city of Jacksonville, Florida.
Let's not go into that. I'm not interested in Jacksonville.
In which it was ruled that anti-loitering laws and anti-vagrants laws are illegal, are unconstitutional.
So it's better to leave the crack dealers down there, right?
No.
Wait a minute, Mort.
We get the police to take care of them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't show up. What do you do then?
What I'm saying.
What do you do then when they don't show up?
What I'm saying is that, look.
Wait a second, let me hear him.
What I'm trying to say is this is not an ideological issue. Everybody is against crime. The question is how best to fight crime. Now, you could very easily offer a bounty. The city of New York could say $500 for anyone who brings in the head of a crack dealer. But obviously that would be ineffective and counterproductive and illegal.
Not. We probably get about 10,000 crack dealers and about 300 or 400 other innocent people.
And the same is true.
We get the 10,000 crack dealers. Probably end up with some editors of newspapers.
They also violate. Americans also have the right, for better or for worse, not to be deprived of property without the due process of law and without probable cause. However, the guardian angels spend a lot of time taking people's Coke vials, snatching people's crack pipes. Now, it's unfortunate
bad people!
Mort, wait a minute.
Bad people!
You know, we don't have a right
with their vials.
We don't have a right to harass drug dealers, but the drug dealers have a right to harass us.
But how do you know they're drug dealers?
Let me go over here to Dennis. Wait a second.
You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes.
Zip it. Dennis, you have a restaurant.
On
Where's your restaurant?
46.
What was happening to your restaurant?
It was going downhill.
How bad?
Pretty bad.
Almost out of business.
Out of business.
Crack dealers hanging around your area?
Corner of 46th and 8th
Call
Avenue.
the police?
Many times.
Call Mayor Koch?
Wrote to Mayor Koch.
What did Mayor Koch do?
Well, they put on some extra police.
Where they put them?
tried
Over on 58th Street?
Well, they made it look good. They did the best they could, but they just did not have the men to. It was gone too far. The corner of 46th
So
Street.
you invited, and your organization invited Curtis Leo and his guardian angels in?
Yes, we did.
All right, now let me ask you a question. Did you have to pay them?
No.
Did you offer to make a contribution or a donation?
Yes, we did.
Did you offer if they got your business back up that they get a percentage of the business?
No, we offered no rewards.
No rewards at all. What kind of a contribution does your organization make for something like this, where you're putting literally dozens of young men's lives and women's lives in danger?
I believe we had about 15, 16 people, and we contributed $300 apiece, and that was to go for headquarters, walkie-talkies, cots, so on and so forth.
Let them have some food and soft drinks in the restaurants?
Right.
And $500,000 in free publicity in the New York Times.
What's the matter with that?
By the way,
Now listen,
speaking
if
of
they got free publicity in the Post, it might have been worth $500,000. In the New York Times, it's not. Only elitist intellectuals read that.
The thing is, you would think this is the first place we've been invited. There are communities, Los Angeles, Chicago,
Yeah, but
Detroit,
Curtis, let me
Houston.
tell you something. I sent
We've
my
done the same
people,
thing.
my producers down there the other day, all right? When you weren't there.
Right.
And I sent them down to that street. Not a crack dealer there. You've done a magnificent job.
Not a
Neither
guardian
were you
angel either.
people there.
Why?
The crack dealers were
There
up
was
on
no-
50th Street.
wait a second.
So you just shoved
No,
them
no, no,
up.
but Mort.
And the newspapers weren't there, and you people weren't there. How come?
Mort, this
In
is
fact,
the situation. You have
night-
police officers in uniforms. I don't care what city they are. Right now, they're pounding the beat in Chicago, LA, New York, and they're all handcuffed. Guys like these have assured that. A cop cannot do what he did 20, 30 years ago. He caught Morton Downey Jr. a few years ago.
weren't handcuffed
Wait a
when they
second.
shot
With
that
a can
woman.
of beer, right? Drinking with an open container. He'd come up to you. Hey, buddy, take the can of beer, pour it out, give you the can, say, that better be in the receptacle when I get back or I'm running you in. Nowadays, a cop can't go up to a drug dealer, can't move him, can't arrest him. Can you believe this? Officers in uniforms around the country are discouraged from making drug arrests. They want detectives from narcotics
All right.
who are too
Because
busy
the
chasing
DEA
the
is
All right, I want to
I think
see.
you're going
I
to do
want a
that.
demonstration,
What
Mr.
the drug
Klinghoffer.
enforcement
Yeah.
agency
I
is
wanna-
being implicated in smuggling cocaine
I
into the
want a
United States.
demonstration.
The question is how
Problem is
long.
that the cops aren't doing
Clingy.
the job
The
of
question
fighting
is
the
how long-
crackheads.
Hold on a
Instead,
second.
the
will you?
cocaine is being brought in
Hold
by
on
the
a second.
government.
Hold on. I want a demonstration from the Guardian Angels, Curtis, if you don't mind, about what you guys do to someone who you think is up to no good, all right?
No problem.
All right, can you direct your angels?
It's
Come
not
on.
who we think, it's who we see is up to no
All right.
good.
What do you
All right,
see?
here you have two of your atypical white boys. They could be from the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles, Lake Forest, Chicago.
What
some
percentage of
suburb in
people
New
are
Jersey,
white, actually?
coming into the big town? Atypical white boys into the big city. You know, hey, maybe to buy some crack, you know, get some smack.
Kurt, how many white people do you move?
Now-
How many black people?
Now our
how many
guardian
Hispanics?
Hey,
how many
come on,
white people?
drug dealers. All white people are using
Why do you bring
drugs.
two white guys on? The majority of people you move are black.
Oh, cut it out. The guardian angels are predominantly black and Hispanic.
That's irrelevant.
Tell you this, Mort.
The majority of people you move are black. If I stood there,
Tell you this, Mort.
In Germany in the
If I
30s, the
stood
brown
there-
shirts were all poor.
Curtis,
working
I was
class
there last
Germans.
night.
Tell you this, Mort, the inner city crack dealers don't depend on people of their own color. They wait for the white boys to come in with mommy sedan on the weekend with the big stash for the big party, you know, where they can sling out 200, 300 presidents, the likes of which
Hey,
they never
Curtis,
stood
talking
around in
about
junior high
white
school and
boys.
learn about.
Talking about white boys. When was the last time you were in Puerto Rico?
Yo,
you're
bro.
not. You're as white as they come.
That's right. And
All
I
right?
can criticize
You're Polish
white people.
Italian. I'm Hungarian Italian. There's
Fine.
no difference between you and me.
And it's white boys like you and me that
There is a
created this
difference.
drug
There's a big
subculture.
difference.
Now, guardian angels are
Wait a
coming
second.
along.
How do you know he doesn't harass white people? You live in the neighborhood. You sitting there kissing his ass in his back pocket? You're not. What are you doing in the neighborhood?
come on, I didn't see
You're
you
not
guys-
doing
I didn't see the
anything to get
Guardian
the
Angels
drug
on Avenue
dealers
B
out,
when
are
you
you?
were in 11th Street.
You're doing
I
it.
didn't
You're
see you on the most
buying it.
dangerous
You're
crime
buying it and you're using it.
The fact is,
Let me see a demonstration. Now let's see a demonstration.
fact is-
Klinghoffer, shut up!
You have two guardian angels coming along. They've been observing these guys, making a transaction. Watch, there's this physical. Down they go, paying compliance.
That is
no
completely
busted
illegal.
bones. They're going to get that crack away from these guys. Watch what they have in their hands, Mort. Something that you can't even see. Take a look at that. Crack vials. Crack. A little bit of a therapeutic back massage in order to get that
It's
crack.
television.
All
How
right,
about
now
that
what
kid who
happens?
got
Now
knifed?
watch. Come here, Mr. Hiram. Show what we were able to find on these fine young white boys from the suburbs. The killer of our youth in America today, crack cocaine.
Oh, nonsense.
And what we would
Cigarettes.
do is destroy it.
Nonsense! Nonsense! Where have you been living? Up your mother's rear end?
Crack is not nearly the same problem as tobacco, not nearly
Curtis,
the same
Curtis,
problem.
Crack is not
been on
nearly
drugs
the
so
same.
long, your
Listen
brain
this,
is
Mr.
fried.
Klinghoffer. Listen this. Pass this on to your boss. This
Every
man
time it's
who
a war
agrees
on
with
drugs,
you says
every
crack
time they
is
wanna
not nearly the
repress the poor
same.
people
Shut up!
to gentrify.
Shut up, or I'll torture it! Shut your mouth!
This is all
Wait a
irrelevant.
second. Wait a second. He made the statement that crack is not nearly the problem that cigarettes are.
That's ridiculous, obviously.
Oh, thank you.
But you see, this is
Thank
all
you.
irrelevant because the Guardian Angels are only on 46th Street when the television cameras are. I was there. Oh no! I was there last night. I walked all the way down 46th Street. I walked all the way down 8th Avenue. I saw exactly one Guardian Angel.
Hold it over here.
I saw exactly
I am a
one.
restaurateur on 46th Street. I am there 7 days a week, and the Guardian Angels have done a
Are you waiting for
fantastic
47th
job
Street
since they're
redevelopment
alive.
plan?
They have made our blocks
I
safer.
saw
They've
10
cleaned the
policemen.
corner of 46th
I saw
Street.
10 policemen and one Guardian
Well, let
Angel.
me ask you one question. How often are you on 46th Street?
Quite often.
Now, we spend a lot of time. Shut up!
I have lived in New York for a year and a half. I have never seen a Guardian Angel on a subway.
Wait a second. Wait a
We
second.
spent
Wait
a
a
lot
second.
of
You
time.
can use this mic over here much more effectively.
If you go down to 38th, 30th Street, 29th, where the Guardian Angels were called in to clean up with the problem there, where there are no cameras. If you go to 14th Street, where we were asked to clean up the problem there, where there are no cameras, you'll see Guardian Angels. How often are you on 46th Street at 2, 3, 4? You tell me!
Nobody's there. Where were you
In
last
just a
night?
second, all right? We'll be back. Stand by. Stand by. Come on.
Transportation for the Morton Downey Jr. Show, furnished by Redwood Limousine. When in New York, call 212-226-7665.
Let me come back up here on home base, all right? First, Curtis, I'm going to go to Lisa, but how many women do you have in the Guardian Angels?
About 1 out of every 6 nationally is a woman.
Okay.
We have an all-female patrol in Houston and many women chapter leaders.
Lisa, what kind of criteria do you use in determining whether someone is behaving in a criminal manner? I mean, does someone being black walking up and down 42nd Street mean that he's a crack dealer?
Mort, absolutely not. We have to see somebody doing it. I mean, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out who are crack dealers in the various neighborhoods. And the point that's being missed here by Mr. Dinghoffer, or Ding Dong, whatever his name is, the point is that we are working with the community. We don't just come in like barnstormers and announce, oh, we're going to clean up the neighborhood and we're going to.
Where do you think those criminals are now?
We want to see.
Where do
we
you
work
think those
with the
criminals-
community group, the people who have had complaints about the crack dealers.
Where do you think those-
We have to see. We have to
Look.
see them committing a crime. We have to see them using the drugs before we'll physically get involved. We're not rousting innocent homeless
No, this
people
lady has
sitting on park
Excuse
benches.
me, Mrs. Sleazeball.
Honey, when was the last time you looked in a mirror? It probably cracked.
I detest rowdiness. Go ahead, madam.
I would like to say, you made a...
Wait a second, let me hear this.
Excuse me, I have lived in this community that you have invaded for over 10 years. And the people, the so-called community that you say has invited you to come in and patrol our streets, are actually not the people who live in the community. They are people like you who own, excuse me,
They're
excuse
simple people who own businesses in the community.
They are,
who employ people from the community.
If
who
you'll
make
let
it
me
possible
finish.
for
No,
you to
that
be.
is not true. That is not true. The people that have invited you into the community are people who own expensive restaurants. The people in this community cannot afford to eat in your restaurant. They can't afford to go to the theaters that you are protecting. You are protecting people who do not live in the neighborhood. You are harassing people in our neighborhood. The landlords and the people who own expensive businesses in the neighborhood have invited you in, and you have been harassing our community.
Wait a minute. Why were we invited by the block associations of 4 adjacent blocks?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because there are currently 17. Excuse me. There are currently.
Why were we given a key to the
Well,
park
if you
on
shut up a
47th
minute,
Street
I'll
and
tell you,
10th Avenue?
lady. The reason you were invited into the neighborhood is because it's currently under gentrification. There are 17 major construction projects going on in that neighborhood right now.
We're part of a big conspiracy
You're
that you
being
people like
asked
to
in to push
fantasize
the
about.
poor out. The people you are harassing on the street are being...
Go right down there if you want to.
What? Can you believe this woman?
I have lived there for 10 years. I see what's happening.
Where have you lived?
And they're
I live
Now remember
on
something I have just
17
discovered. I have just
Everything she says
discovered.
you have to
I have
know
just
that the
discovered. Wait a
corner of
second, Mr.
46th
Carey.
Street and 8th
I have just
Avenue.
discovered that the guardian angels aren't American citizens and therefore don't have a right to be in your area. Is that right?
Beg your pardon?
Guardian angels are not American citizens, don't have a right to be in your area, huh?
What is that supposed to mean?
What the hell do you think it means? You said they weren't invited in there.
They were not invited.
They don't have to be invited. They can go by themselves. They don't need you or any other gravel Gertie inviting them.
I'd just like to say something here. I've been listening to a lot of the things that have been going on, and I think one point needs to be made. By a show of hands, how many people here, if they felt threatened in any way, would, quote-unquote, take the law into their own hands, maybe do something illegal to stay alive? Like if you saw a burglar in your house, would you shoot him? Would you shoot him? Don't you? I think I see the guardian angels doing a little of the same things. They see.
What do you think is going to happen when the guardian angels leave? Where do you think those criminals have gone? They've gone 2 blocks south to Chelsea and 2 blocks north.
Hold on.
There's 2 blocks north of the Upper West Side.
Trying to say
They leave.
What? You know,
The guardian angels leave, and when the TV cameras leave, the criminals do that.
By the plane load.
One at a time, all right?
They brought
one
it
at
in
a
by the
time, so
plane
our
load
folks
with the
at home-
CIA for the
one at
guns
a
for the
time,
Contras.
Sir, I'm going to sit on your face in a moment. Now,
Definitely, shut up.
the only reason I don't, sir, is I'm afraid you'd enjoy it. Now,
this gentleman is the atypical polyester waffle weave suit. Sitting there, right, at a lunch with, I might add, his boss, Bill Buckley, who wants to legalize drugs. You didn't mention that.
I do too. That's not the point.
Legalize them. But you see, this guy,
out of it, make it medical.
this guy is out in Greenwich, Connecticut. He's out in Malibu, California. You're not in the inner city. You don't see the young black.
wait a second, Curtis. Wait a second. Let me ask
On
a
the street
question.
level, it's a
Where
medical
do you
problem.
two live? Are you on
The
Park
Lower
Avenue?
East Side of
Alphabet
Manhattan.
City.
But in
Alphabet
a
City
building,
in Manhattan.
wait a second. They live in a building that's being gentrified. They're putting millions of dollars into the building.
Mart, what we fail to realize, and we don't hear from these people now, is
You haven't answered
the
my
old
question.
ladies with the bars on their windows, the locks on their doors.
Come up to the microphone. Come up to Charlie. Come up to the microphone.
You got it.
Charlie,
Okay,
let
okay,
Manson
check
talk.
this out, man. I'm on the street that you patrol 24 hours a day.
Hey,
that
you
you
look
come
like
down
it,
there
sir.
5. No, when these guys
You ever
come down here,
sleep?
they spend like 5, 10 minutes. What they do is they get young Hispanic and black youth to come down and chase out the black and Hispanic people who are born in the neighborhoods who can't get any jobs. The only job they can get is from some mafioso crack dealer. What's the answer, buddy?
Part of the problem or part of the solution?
Then why are you part of the problem?
I am the solution.
No, you're not. You're part of the problem. Hey, dude. If you can stand more than 5 minutes,
I don't know
down
why
the Lower
people are
East Side,
cheering
you're
because the
welcome to
rents
get
are
out of
going
there,
up
dude.
$1,000 and more.
I'm down there with baseball bats and everything else getting junkies out. The only time you guys are down there is when the media is down there. When there's a massive
get outta
concentration
here.
of drugs,
Get
you
outta
guys
here.
get cops over on 9th Street,
Hey.
away to 11th Street,
People in the restaurant haven't evicted us, buddy.
because
Because
they're
they
part
have
of the
everything
developers.
Get out of here. They want
These are the same people. But
Oh,
these guys aren't part of the neighborhood. They
Yes,
live in
we are
Suffolk
part of the
County.
neighborhood. I live in that neighborhood, and I haven't seen you in that neighborhood.
They're not. They're only.
No, wait a
in the
second.
pocketbook.
Mr. Kerry, Mr. Kerry, you say you live in that
I
neighborhood?
live right upstairs over my restaurant.
He lives upstairs over his restaurant. He's never seen you there.
I'm talking
That's a
about the Lower-
blessing.
I'm talking
That's
about
a
the Lower
blessing.
East
That
Side.
means he's not
If you
pushing
haven't seen
crack.
I
me
got it.
on Times Square,
He's not
We're
pushing
missing one
crack.
question this evening.
Probably
Do you
just
feel
using it.
safer in your neighborhood now with the guardian angels in there than before?
Absolutely.
And what's going to happen when they leave? Sir, what is going to happen when they leave?
Nonsense.
What is...
With Reagan
Hey,
bringing the
next
drugs
we'll hear
in,
about the
with Bush bringing the
16-year-old
drugs in.
they're
who was
harassed.
critically injured in Times Square. We're going to meet some people who the angels have saved, all right? Let these idiots argue for a minute. We'll be right back. We've got some other folks joining us at Loudmouth 2 this time. We'll introduce them to you, but we'll be back to them in just a minute. Elaine Edison, who's a victim of harassment, and Jack Laney, who's a neighborhood activist. Let me come to Lisa Sliwa. Lisa, in the course of patrolling Times Square recently, a 16-year-old guardian angel was critically injured in a dispute with alleged crack dealers. Tell us what happened.
Well, this was outside near Restaurant Row several weeks ago. The guardian angels were breaking up a fight between two groups of drug dealers. They intervened to calm the situation down because it was starting to spread to other passersby. One of the drug dealers kicked a guardian angel in the chest. The guardian angel picked the guy up, slammed him through a window. After that, all chaos broke loose. And then what transpired was the drug dealers took out baseball bats, knives, broken bottles, proceeded to assault all of the angels. Our people were outnumbered. There were 12 of them. There were 30 of these crack dealers. They ended up seriously injuring one of our members, Ilya Lichtenberg, who is still in the hospital right now.
I got to ask you a question. I got to ask you a question. How much crack did the guy have? Did you find out?
Well, we don't.
Put it this way, the guy who is now charged with attempted murder is a predicative felon. Twice before, he's gone up the river, done 4-year sentences for sale of crack and cocaine.
How much crack did he
What
have
more
on
do
him?
you want?
How
He's
much
a
crack did he have
predicative
on
felon.
him?
He
When he was arrested.
had 2 charges
What was
of
the
selling
probable
crack.
cause? But that was afterwards.
Probable
Did they know
cause.
that from
He
seeing
slammed
his face?
one of our guys in the chest. He kicked
I
the
know.
guy in the chest. That's an assault.
Well,
All right, but I
That's
got to
called
get
an
back.
assault.
Lisa, I got to get back to something that I think is overriding here. What on earth is a 16-year-old unarmed kid from suburbia doing patrolling Times Square? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Mort, he was trained like other guardian angels. I grew up in a very cushy suburb of Chicago. I learned to patrol the streets of New York City also. If young people, we've got 12, 13, 14, and younger year-old people selling drugs. Make my point, please.
There's a basic problem here.
We have little
And that
kids
problem
selling
is,
drugs. We
it's
need
people
to have
from
young
outside
people
the
that are
community
positive
coming in
ones.
and not people in the community.
Well, let me ask you, wait a
That's
second.
the basic
But
problem.
when you say it's a basic problem, people from outside the community coming in,
Right, rather
do
than the
you
community
think
doing it.
every policeman in your community comes from
Well,
your
I live in a
community?
community on the Lower East Side where we had a Plaza Cultural on East 9th Street where we were trying to save from the Wreckers Ball. We had a problem where the cops thought it was all right for them to push the crackheads into that park to make a few bucks because we were running a homeless kitchen or soup kitchen. And what we found out was we had 2 concerts there. We had a meeting with the community. We didn't have to call in one guardian angel, one outside person. We didn't even call the cops. I tell you, there's no crack there now.
Well, dope heads never call the cops because they're too busy smoking dope.
You should have been to the party we had.
My fondest wish, I wish him
What does that
and his
have to
other
do with it?
yokels
What does
come
that
into
have to
our
do with it?
neighborhood smoking a joint, and you're
Hey,
going
we're
to get
talking
a
about
fried
my
local
neighborhood.
sandwich and
We're
be in the
talking about my
crowd going to
neighborhood.
jail, buddy.
I dare any guardian angels to come into Plaza Cultural, 9th Street Avenue C.
dare.
I dare you to come there. I dare you to.
Somebody's got to say.
I dare you to come into my neighborhood.
Wait a second, wait a second,
I
let me go
dare
to
you
Mr.
to.
Now here.
The dare's out.
David, I understand.
You come there.
Shut up, I want to. Will you shut up, you weird beard? Now, let me come back to Dennis. Let me ask you a question. I understand that you believe that they use this, the angels sometimes are going after other non-conventional types lurking in the shadows instead of drug dealers. What do you mean by that?
If you believe the press reports, they also harass harmless, innocent homosexuals.
Oh, wait a minute, Mort. Then why
wait a second.
And
You
Mr.
push
Hagen
people.
is right
Let him
here
finish.
from
Let him
Greenwich
finish.
Village.
Let him finish.
You push people out, dirty homeless people out of their door, off of door stoops. When, for better or for worse, they have the right to loiter, the legal right to loiter. What you want to be really is the police and then some. The police can't do that. The police can't do that. Neither can you.
Let me ask
What
you a
gives you?
question.
the
Why
thing
is it the
about
Guardian
shut
Angels
up.
were
Wait, be
asked in to
quiet.
patrol the Silver Lake area in Los Angeles,
But
which is
asked in is the
predominantly gay,
problem.
because of violence against gays? Why do we survive? What Mr. Hagen can tell you, in Greenwich Village, we were invited by the Christopher Street Block Association,
I'm
which
very
is 99%
surprised. I'm very
homosexual, to patrol that area. Why did they invite us in? We never had a single complaint from the member of the gay community.
I have no idea.
Anything
but
for
if
a
you
headline.
You have no idea, but you've made the accusation. You and your editor-in-chief, Mr. Pukley,
No,
all right,
I read this-
who claims to be you made an accusation.
if you believe the Daily-
I don't believe the press worth a
The Daily
shit,
News,
baby.
look, the Daily News is extremely sympathetic.
Why
The Daily
do
News is
we-
extremely sympathetic to you, yet they've printed at least 2 press reports reporting harassment of gays and the harassment
Wait,
of the homeless.
columnists are not subject to the same
No, I mean,
requirements.
no, news.
They're press reports.
Front page
Transvestite
news.
prostitutes who don't use condoms and share needles need to be driven from the neighborhood.
Who
whether they're
appointed you
straight
to
or
police?
gay.
Curtis,
Look, it's
I'm
irrelevant. It's
surprised-
irrelevant what
I'm
you think of
surprised at this
transvestites.
audience,
It's
because
irrelevant
New
what you
Jersey
think.
is getting a bad rap because every time they try and put a hospital in to deal with the AIDS problem, it's people in Jersey who go around and force those people out and spread lies about what's happening with AIDS. And what we need is another person spreading misinformation
What
to
does this
panic
have to
people
do about crack?
AIDS.
Misinformation.
I'm not. I can show you the
You're
clips.
spreading-
Why have we been
You're
pulled
spreading
into so many gay
misinformation about
communities
AIDS right
to
now.
protect
Well, I'll
the
tell
gays
you what.
against
Obviously,
violence?
this is a
How do you
different
explain that,
community.
Mr. Klinghoffer?
Mort,
How do you
let him
explain
have
that?
sex with a transvestite prostitute without using a condom,
But you're
and
gonna
you'll
force
end
them
up with
underground.
AIDS.
Hey, wait, don't worry. Don't worry about him. Don't
You're
worry
gonna
about
force
him.
them
Obviously, he
underground.
hasn't heard him yet. Next, when we come back, we'll go to the audience, all right? See what they think about the Guardian Angel. Before we go to our audience, I want you to hear, let's hear some factual stories, all right? Let me introduce you to Elaine Edison, who I understand has been a victim of criminal harassment for blowing the whistle on illegal activities in her neighborhood. Elaine, why did you do that, and why did you call the Angels?
Well, first of all, I've been in Amsterdam projects now for over 20 years, and we're directly behind Lincoln Center. And when I say behind Lincoln Center, because we're forgotten. Lincoln Center is in front of us, and they get all the attention. We had a problem. We couldn't even get into our buildings. And one day I just came home, I could not get in. My co-president, Ms. Fuentes, who was here, she...
Why couldn't you get in?
Because the drug pusher was there and he wasn't letting us in our building until his transaction was over.
Okay, all right.
So I had to get in. I screamed outside and I screamed and no one opened the windows because everybody was afraid. This has been going on seriously now for almost 3 years. It wasn't that bad before. So when I found out I couldn't get in my own house, I said, I got to get help from somebody. The
Why didn't you go
police,
to
you
police?
call them. I called the police. Whenever they get there, the pushers are usually gone. So I went in the house. I said, God, there's only one thing I can do. I can call the guardian angels. And would they come? Well, I made my first call that morning at 7:30. I got an answering machine. I called back at 9 o'clock. I got someone. That evening at 7:30, A. Stevens came to my home, and we started attack, Amsterdam Tenants Against Crack. We had a rally. We got into the newspapers. That was not planned. They came without any funds, no TV coverage.
You didn't promise them anything?
I didn't have anything to promise.
Jack Laney, let me ask you, you've lived in New York a long time. What kind of changes have you seen in your neighborhood over the years, and what have the Angels done to restore law and order?
Well, all I know is what I see, okay? I'm living in that block where I live for 40 years. I know the village I was born down there. I know even the history of New York City. I know where the Hudson Dusters are.
Okay, we'll do that another time.
All right, I see. All right. What I wanted to qualify, that's why I want to tell you. Now, we tried everything down there. We went to the police station.
You go to Mayor Crotch?
Oh, yeah. That's a good, that smells from something. What'd you say? Mayor who? Oh, anyway. Anyway, the man has a restaurant right next door. See, the whole block was loaded with this.
What's happened since the Angels have come in?
Unbelievable. I can't believe it. See, they cleaned it up in no time. And the Washington Square Park, too. But now it's creeping back a little bit. See, we need somebody coming back there again. I said, not the crack. I see the envelopes. Another thing, they got these smoke shops in the area. Isn't it illegal to sell stuff, paraphernalia, that use drugs, like smoking pipes and these crack things that they...
Well, I don't know about that, Mr. Laney, but let me tell you something,
I heard
pal.
that on the radio.
Let me tell you, you've been there 40 years.
That's
You're
right.
a brave man to put them on the line, all right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you got them to put them on the line.
didn't get 'em.
Obviously,
I
your
didn't-
mayor doesn't have them because he puts nothing on the line.
That's right.
Mayor Crotch, you ain't got none, baby, so don't worry about your name. All right, let's hear from Captain America.
All right, Curtis.
Ah, shut up! Shut up, you old hag! Go ahead. Let Captain America speak. Honey, I'll shove your shoe down your throat in a minute. Shut up!
Now, Curtis, you're against drugs in that smug, anti-intellectual white trash way of yours. Why don't you tell us about your goons, your goon squad over there, selling jumbos that they confiscate from the dealers on the corner of
Wait a second, let me
11th
hear the
Street
guy.
and C?
Let me hear the guy.
Tell us about that.
Tell us about what? I didn't hear you, Captain.
About his goon squad selling the confiscated crack on the corner of 11th and C. Why don't you tell us all about that?
Look at this man, Mort. Look at him wearing our flag. Our fathers died for that flag. And look how you wear our flag. Men and women have perished for that flag.
So far,
you dirtbag.
So far. So far,
Like that flag,
here's what we've
like
heard.
that flag
Here,
flew
wait a
over
second.
Panama and
Wait a second.
Noriega.
Here's what we've heard tonight. All right.
Shut up!
The
Noriega's
CIA is
flag.
bringing in all the
Flag of the
drugs.
CIA bringing the cocaine into the
Meese,
country.
and Bush are
Put
doing
Reagan,
it.
Meese,
and
and
now
Bush
we're
in jail
hearing
where they
that the
belong.
Guardian Angels are selling it. Why don't I stuff that flag down your throat so you can
Come down to the corner of 11th and C.
Yes, I'll do it.
Why don't you come down and look at
We'll be back in a minute.
Some of the guests of the Morton Downey Jr. Show stay at the Meadowlands Hilton Hotel.
Hey, look, let me just say, whether we agree or disagree with the people who disagree with us, all right, Thank God we're in this country, man, and they get an opportunity to speak up, to say what's on their mind, to tell us they think we're a bunch of asses, and for us to tell them we think you're a bunch of asses, all right? And to, yes, ma'am, and to wear the American flag. If he feels that that's where he wants his flag, let him wear his flag, all right? Let him wear his flag. Me, personally, I'd like to take the American flag, put it right here, and tell him to kiss it, all right? Now, let's face it. We got a crime wave here. Sir, we're out of time. all right?
Montreal Gazette,
We're
three
out of
angels
time.
committed a rape.
We're out of time. What about the fact that 92 guys with beards this year committed a rape?
Well,
that
how about
means
people
something.
with red
It means
berets committing a
squat,
rape?
man. Now, let's face it, all right? Let's face it. We got a crime wave here in America. Much of it is fueled by insatiable appetite for drugs. There are simply not enough police to go around. I say if the guardian angels can keep some of these scum under control without interfering with the local police, sign me up, baby. Sign me up, Lisa. Huh? All right?